All right, it's knife time. I went out in the wilderness today and was just out cruising around in my old Explorer I got that I'm fixing up for fun. And I went, probably 40 miles through the back roads, through the mountains out here and stuff for a while. And I was gonna film out there, but by the time I figured out the road I was gonna have to clip down to get to where I normally hang out that way where there's some trees and stuff, I was like, I decided to flip around. But that's beside the point. I wanted to get out today and in the autumn I like to get out in the wilderness a bunch, and today we're going to talk about the black crayon. The Bark River Knives Bravo 1. And I call this like the black crayon because this is just like if you bust out the big old pack of crayons, the most rambunctious bull in a china shop in the crowd's gonna grab the black crayon first, always. That's just how it works. And that's what this knife kind of reminds me of. This is tried and true. I'm sure if you're watching a video about a Bark River Bravo 1, you know that the history and the lore behind it, how a certain group of militarized individuals set about to make the ultimate knife for their unit, and supposedly this is what it turned out to be. This particular version is an A2. I had it for probably a couple years. Carried it a lot, used it some. I've processed some wood with it. I've cut some meat with it. I'm not a bushcrafter. I'm not like a survivalist guy. I hike out every once in a while and we'll dig a hole and put my cowboy grill over it and start a little fire and cook up a tri-tip, or maybe I'll bring my little titanium cup with me, or I'll cook up a brew, something to drink, or something like that. But I'm not like some big survivalist. I'm not a big bush crafter. Me and my buddy, we call it shrub craft. That's not my thing. I'm capable. I know how. I know the basic survival skills you need to survive in the wilderness. I was just kind of raised that way, being in a hunting and fishing in a outdoor environment type enthusiast family. It was just stuff you knew how to get through a day out in the middle of nowhere. I guess just kind of came natural to me and my kinfolk. So yeah, this particular, it's a thick, chunky knife. It's got a really good size carry blade. The handle is ergonomic, whatever. It has a nice swell. It fits well. I have a large size glove hand. It fits well. I could see if I had a bigger hand, it would fit well. I see if I had a smaller hand, it would fit well. It's a well-rounded and designed knife, and very strong. And I think if you are any type of knife collector who's serious about collecting knives, and you want like almost like a one and done, like outdoors knife, like that you can count on every single time. There's a few others out there I'll get into as time goes by, as I BS about knives on video. But if you want a good one and done, the Bark River Knives Bravo 1 is a good choice for that. If you just want something you could get out, you can process wood with this, you can process game with this. They come in various different steels depending on the run. Countless handles, countless scales. I mean, I could have 20 versions of this just because of how many different gorgeous scales there are. But This is like the most basic one. You get black micarta scales, no liner. I got this on special a couple years back, I think 2 or 3 years back. Um, like I said, I've carried it a lot. I put open-offs on the sheath a couple times a year to keep it. Man, Bark River, their sheaths. The ones I have 2 Bark Rivers in my collection currently, and they both have this type of sheath, and it's really cool. It has multiple carrying options, positionings, and then some. So I think it's really cool. Like I said, this will do what you need it to do. You can baton wood with this. I mean, it's not a huge knife, but you could get through small lumber with this. You could process just about anything you need to process this. And, these are higher end steels, usually comes in. I'm not sure what people's opinion of A2 steel is. This has treated me just fine, but I've never got too crazy with it. Especially the 3V version of the Bark Rivers, of the Bravo one. Man, that's just like, it's super heavy duty, man. You just can't, and it's classy. It's something that's heirloomish, you know what I mean? You hold a Bark River, and it's like, man, this is a classy, well-made, has a very custom feel to it. And Bark Rivers really, they can be pricey, but boy, when you hold one in your hand, yeah, you know what I mean? This, I mean, this is something you hand down to like a nephew or offspring, whatever, or somebody you dig. This is like one of those type of knives. I've seen them anywhere from $200 on up. I don't think I've seen one go too much higher than the $400 mark, but that's like with glow in the dark pine cone scales. And yeah, don't anybody buy that one if you see it for sale, because I'm gonna buy that one eventually. Just kidding. But yeah, this thing, you don't have to have knife skills to use this knife in any way you would use it, in a survival, in an outdoor type situation. You're not going to hurt it, really. I mean, you'd really have to do something very, like, completely. If you could do something that would damage a Bark River Bravo 1, then you probably shouldn't be handling edged tools in the first place. Like, this is a tank. And I know there's guys out there that just love to destroy knives on camera and stuff. That's cool. I watch that stuff. I vibe with it. But I'm saying you would really have to be doing something you would not need to do with a knife to harm this thing. Like, yeah, you could stick this in a door jamb and pop a door open. They're stout, man. They have thick stock. Wide, not too wide, but wide enough blade. Yeah, so that's why I would, if you're like, if you can't decide like, oh, what outdoorsy knife should I get, and you just want like one that you'll rely on, dude, you could rely on this for sure. For sure, and you wouldn't have to be too careful with it. That's the cool thing about this knife, is you don't have to be too careful with it. It's sturdy and stout. There's a few knives that you don't have to worry about being too careful with. I'd say a BK9 is one of those, but it's massive. I have one. We'll get into that one of these days. But I'm just saying, if you want a good belt knife for hard use in the wilderness, yeah, that's good looking, maintenance, I don't know. I'm sure this comes in Magna Cut by now. Everything comes in Magna Cut. I don't have anything in Magna Cut currently. But, you know, feed the horse, oil the sword, you know, oil your sword, man. Take care of your equipment. All that. This right here, this is a good example of a good hard working knife. Super general purpose. This could be used in all applications, from bushcraft to survival to a self-defense slash, you know, if you were in a, yeah, it's a well-rounded, the black crayon. You know what I mean? You can draw anything with a black crayon and then fill in the lines later. You know what I mean? And that's what this is. Yeah. Fall. I like to get out in the woods more and stuff, so I'll probably be busting out more of this type of stuff this time of year. What I got on me for that day or whatever. Hope y'all have a wonderful evening, and I'll see you later.